The underrated Lopetegui has got most calls right during his reign and has earned the trust of the Spanish public. Julen Lopetegui announced his squad on Monday AFP. Getty Images Julen Lopetegui's job at Spain was never going to be about reinventing the wheel, it was always a case of just getting it spinning again with the smoothness and speed to which Spanish football has become accustomed. After the humiliating failure of 2014, the Spanish FA, RFEF, took the decision to keep Vicente del Bosque that was based more on sentiment and respect than the realities of modern football. Lopetegui, ultimately his successor in 2016, is Spanish football's modern man. Every time we pick a squad we commit an injustice, he told The Guardian's Sid Lowe in that first year of his reign, a feeling that most international managers are familiar with on one hand but, on the other, stare in awe at the list of players available to the man charged with returning Spain to the summit of world football, ahead of Russia. His 23 has a familiar feel. There are the familiar names, legends of the sport scattered among a glut of ball-playing midfielders, as well as a handful of names that might not be immediately recognizable to those who don't consume La Liga every week. But always more striking is those who don't make it, and the raft of talent that simply can't be folded or otherwise squeezed into the squad. I could have given a long list of players who have helped us who couldn't be in. Alvaro Morata, Asier Illarramendi, Marc Bartra, Lopetegui said at Spain's headquarters in Las Rozas on Monday morning. Morata is the headline absence in Madrid because of his links to the country's biggest club and the fact that 12 months ago he was about to move clubs for £54 million. It has been something of a disappointment to everyone in Spain that Morata's first season with Chelsea played out as it did, but even if one of Iago Aspas, Rodrigo or Diego Costa were suddenly injured and couldn't go to the World Cup, it's hard to argue that Morata would go ahead of someone like Espanyol's Gerard Moreno, who has had a far better campaign. In reality, Marc Bartra's name is one that is most shocking by its absence. The former Barcelona and Dortmund central defender has been brilliant in a resurgent Real Betis side this season. He is someone that has overcome great personal strife to perform at a high level and, considering Spain's weakness at centre-back, he seemed an obvious pick. Instead, Lopetegui has opted for versatility in his squad, and that explains most of the question marks in defense. Cesar Azpilicueta is selected ahead of Sergi Roberto and company because he can also play as a central defender and has done at the highest level. Nacho Monreal, perhaps the biggest surprise inclusion, has also shown a new solidity in playing centrally as well as on the left. This figures as the main reasoning for his inclusion ahead of Marcos Alonso, who is a technically superior player but inarguably more one-dimensional. Nacho, of Real Madrid, has a lot of experience as a plug-and-play piece across the Bernabeu club's back four, and that will also be his role in Russia. Spain do lack depth at centre-back in terms of specialists, but should Sergio Ramos and Gerard Piqué stay fit, they are well set in defense. It is in front of them where the biggest injury concern should lie, with Sergio Busquets having no obvious alternative should something happen. Javi Martinez's absence leaves the already fairly unique Busquets skill set on an island in this squad. Injuries are clearly not at the forefront of a coach's mind when picking 23 players for a tournament, and the rest of the midfield is a stellar list of names. Busquets is an important player and we know it, Lopetegui said, underplaying things somewhat. Without him, this team simply wouldn't be the same. There's such a wealth of midfield talent ahead of Busquets, David Silva, Coca, Isco, Andres Iniesta, Saul, that you don't notice the players missing, but for Cesc Fabregas, this likely represents the end of his international career. Indeed, as many as 10 of the 23rd of may not be in contention for the next World Cup. For a coach who was promoted from the under-21s via Porto, this is a squad with a lot of players heading towards the end of their careers. Up front has been Spain's biggest issue in recent years, trying to find someone who can finish all those chances being carved out by the artisans in the center of the park. At different times Morata, Paco Alcácer, Aritz Diego Costa, Rodrigo, Iago Aspas, David Villa and even no striker have been used. Who will start there against Portugal in Sochi on the 15th of July remains up in the air, with Rodrigo perhaps more likely to play off the flank when he gets his chance. Aspas has had a better season than Diego Costa, but the Atletico Madrid man should be fresher after sitting out the first half of 2017-18 and profiles better as a line-leading centre-forward. He is yet to truly, consistently click as Spain's number 9, but if he does, then you could easily make a case that Spain are suddenly favourites for the whole shebang. I believe that over and above the names in the squad, the important thing is that the team pulls together behind the players that are in the 11, Lopetegui concluded at the end of his press conference. Spain, as ever, will have one of the strongest first sides and squads of the competition. The devil now is in the detail. Spain's 23-man World Cup squad: Jordi Alba, Barcelona; Marco Asensio, Real Madrid; Iago Aspas, Celta Vigo; Cesar Azpilicueta, Chelsea; Sergio Busquets, Barcelona; Dani Carvajal, Real Madrid; Diego Costa, Atletico Madrid; David De Gea, Manchester United; Andres Iniesta, Barcelona; Isco, Real Madrid; KPA, Athletic Bilbao; Coca, Atletico Madrid; Nacho Monreal, Arsenal; Nacho, Real Madrid; Saul Niguez, Atletico Madrid; Alvaro Odriozola, Real Sociedad; Gerard Piqué, Barcelona; Sergio Ramos, Real Madrid; Jose Reina, Napoli; Rodrigo, Valencia; David Silva, Manchester City; Thiago, Bayern Munich; Lucas Vazquez, Real Madrid. Follow The Independent Sport on Instagram here, for all of the best images, videos and stories from around the sporting world. Reuse content. We use cookies to enhance your visit to our site and to bring you advertisements that might interest you. Read our privacy and cookie policies to find out more.